Also tonight, we've heard from immigration lawyers, we've heard from undocumented migrants and politicians. Now, immigration judges are speaking out after ICE agents detained at least 8 people at Bay Area courthouses this week. Our cameras were there as the feds walked people out in handcuffs in San Francisco. Our investigative unit spoke with 2 retired judges who called the ICE action unprecedented. Let's bring in investigative reporter Hilda Gutierrez. Hilda.
Both judges tell us ICE has broad powers to enforce immigration laws, but both also say they never saw anything like this during their long careers on the bench. One called it a well-organized attempt by the Trump administration to bypass immigration courts and execute speedy deportations. The other says she feels embarrassed about what's going on.
¿De dónde es, señor? ¿Qué fue lo que pasó adentro?
This week, our cameras witnessed 4 men being detained by immigration enforcement agents after showing up to their hearings at San Francisco's immigration court.
¿Qué pasó ahí en corte, señor? ¿Algo que nos quiera decir su nombre?
When asked why he was handcuffed, one of them said he didn't know. Activists and attorneys tell us at least 4 more people were detained at a Concord immigration court this week.
We absolutely should worry about it.
Judge James Fujimoto spent 3 decades as a Chicago area immigration judge and says he's never seen anything like it.
Because it was generally accepted that ICE investigators or officers generally were not in courtrooms unless they were there to testify. Under the current policy by the new director, the rules have been freed up to allow that more.
Retired San Francisco immigration judge Carol King says she fought ICE efforts to arrest people at immigration court as an immigration attorney before her years on the bench.
The effect on people and whether they show up to court is, I think, the crux of this entire thing. That, you know, the narrative that this administration is putting forth is that people come to this country, they get put in removal proceedings, they disappear, and they never show up to court. That, in my experience, was not at all true.
While ICE confirmed it's carrying out enforcement at immigration court, the agency declined to answer any specific questions about who's being targeted and why. In an emailed statement, a spokesperson wrote in part, "Most aliens who illegally enter the United States within the past 2 years are subject to expedited removals. Biden ignored this legal fact and chose to release millions of illegal aliens, including violent criminals, into the country with a notice to appear before an immigration judge." ICE is now following the law and placing these illegal aliens in expedited removal, as they always should have been. These judges say expedited removal has traditionally been used only against immigrants caught at the border, not places like the Bay Area.
They have really expanded that. They've expanded both the distance and the time to which they're applying expedited removal. And so it's just casting a much, much, much greater net, a much bigger net.
And while both judges say those with pending asylum cases are safe from deportation unless a judge orders their removal, they explain ICE can hold people in detention centers as they fight their cases in court.
What I think ICE would like to do is to have them placed in expedited removal, essentially circumventing or bypassing the immigration courts. But as long as there is a case pending, they can't. So that is why the ICE attorneys are asking judges to dismiss these proceedings.
We learned of at least one case that seems to support this theory.
They grabbed him, one of them grabbed me, and they pulled us apart.
Shailene Ordaz told NBC Bay Area her husband Angelo, who's been in the country for a year and a half, was also detained by ICE at San Francisco's immigration court last week.
I heard the handcuffs, and my husband is not a criminal, and so that just kills me.
Shailene says ICE asked for the case to be dismissed, but the judge declined. So for now, Angelo has 2 options: agree to his deportation under expedited removal or fight his pending case while being held in a detention center.
I think the current administration, this is second bite at the apple. I think, however, this is a very well-organized effort at attacking the immigrant population on all fronts.
Personally, I'm embarrassed that this is what they see, because we're supposed to be a beacon of due process and fairness and justice throughout the world. And this doesn't comport with that at all.
Judge Fujimoto also explained that there is an option for respondents to attend their hearings via video calls like Zoom, but that has to be requested and approval is left to the judge's discretion. Judge King said when she started practicing immigration law in the 80s, there were only about 100 people in immigration detention centers nationwide. Today, many of those centers are said to be at capacity, housing over 47,000 detainees. I'm Hilda Gutierrez, NBC Bay Area. We investigate.